It's a funny thing, isn't it? How the years can seem to, well, accelerate, especially once you've hit that 60 mark.
Yeah, it's a really common feeling, that sense of time just whooshing by.
But here's a thought. What if we could actually take some steps, some active steps, to make sure those years aren't just more years, but also, richer, healthier, happier?
Exactly. It's not about chasing some impossible dream.
Right. No fountain of youth stuff.
No. But the information we've looked at, it really points to simple, effective habits we can weave into our lives. Doesn't matter how old you are right now.
Simple and effective. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, and sometimes surprising practices that can genuinely impact, well, our longevity and just our overall well-being as we navigate life after 60. Think of it like actively cultivating vitality.
Okay, so consider this our deep dive, our express route maybe, to understanding what really moves the needle for a longer, better life. We've sifted through quite a bit of research
Yeah.
and pulled out 8 key areas.
Mm-hmm.
Areas where we have, maybe surprisingly, quite a bit of control over our health span.
That's right, 8. And they're not just separate tips, They're all interconnected, part of a bigger picture, really. A kind of holistic approach to thriving as we age.
Yeah. So what are we covering?
Well, we'll get into the amazing impact of just regular movement, like walking. Then the huge influence of our food choices.
Okay.
The crucial role of staying connected with people. The power of good quality sleep. Ways to manage stress. Something often overlooked, hydration. Keeping our minds active. And finally, the really powerful effect of just our mindset, our attitude.
All right, let's dive right in then. Starting with something really fundamental, seems almost too simple maybe, walking. We hear exercise, but the sources really seem to zero in on the unique benefits of just putting one foot in front of the other, especially as we get older.
It's so compelling because it's just so accessible, isn't it? You don't need fancy gear. You don't need special skills.
Nope, just shoes, maybe.
Pretty much. And consistent walking, study after study shows it lowers the risk of major health problems, heart disease, stroke, even some cancers. It's powerful but gentle.
Powerful but gentle. And the good news, it sounds like, is we're not talking about marathon training here.
Not at all.
Our sources suggest, like 30 minutes a day? That can significantly cut the risk for chronic diseases and boost your mood, too.
Precisely. Around 30 minutes, that's a fantastic return on investment time-wise. It really is.
Seems doable.
And it's not just physical. The sources really highlight the cognitive side of it, too.
Oh, interesting. Like brain benefits.
Yeah, that feeling of mental clarity you might get after a walk. It's not just in your head. Well, it is in your head, but walking increases blood flow to the brain, and that's linked to better memory, a better overall cognitive function.
So body and mind, a true win-win. Okay, that makes total sense. And the advice isn't like, go climb a mountain tomorrow.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Start small, maybe just around the block.
Right.
And then gradually, add a bit more time, a bit more distance, whatever feels comfortable.
And make it enjoyable, they suggest. Like walking with a friend or maybe listening to a podcast like this one.
Exactly. Or music, an audiobook, anything that makes you look forward to it. That social element or just the pleasure of it makes it so much more likely to stick.
Got it. Okay, habit number 2. What we put in our bodies. Eating for longevity. It's interesting, the sources mention this tendency, maybe as we get older, to eat less.
Yeah.
Or stick to the same old comfort foods.
Yeah, that can happen. But our food choices have such a significant impact on lifespan and health. It's a really key area.
So what's the focus?
The big emphasis is on boosting plant-based foods. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go full vegetarian or vegan, unless you want to, of course.
Okay.
But it's about prioritizing fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, beans, lentils, that sort of thing.
Why those specifically?
Well, they're absolutely packed with antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, basically compounds that help protect our cells from damage. They fight inflammation.
Inflammation. That keeps coming up in health discussions, doesn't it? Sort of the underlying issue for lots of problems.
It really is. And these plant foods are key to controlling it. The sources point to things like the Mediterranean diet as a great example.
Right. Lots of veggies, fruits, nuts, seeds, olive oil.
Exactly. And it's consistently linked to lower heart disease risk, longer, healthy lives. It's not just antioxidants either. The variety of plant fibers feeds our gut microbiome.
The gut health connection again.
Yep, which profoundly impacts inflammation and immunity. It's all connected.
But doesn't mean giving up everything you love, right? It sounds like it's more about balance.
Absolutely. It's not about deprivation. It's about making smart swaps, finding balance. The sources suggest simple things like toss extra veggies into your pasta sauce,
Easy enough?
choose whole grain bread instead of white, opt for brown rice,
Yeah.
maybe have a small piece of dark chocolate instead of milk chocolate. Small shifts.
Little things add up.
They really do.
Yeah.
Consistently. That's the key.
Okay, so we've got moving our bodies, nourishing them well. What's next on this list of longevity habits?
Next up is something that sometimes gets overlooked but is incredibly important: staying socially connected.
Ah, yes. It might seem less, I don't know, physical than diet or exercise, but the evidence is strong, isn't it?
Very strong.
Ah.
It's easy to maybe become a bit more isolated sometimes as life changes, retirement, kids move away.
Sure.
But maintaining those connections isn't just nice. It's actually crucial for physical health and, well, how long we live.
So actual lifespan difference.
Yes, the research is pretty clear. Strong social ties are consistently linked to living longer and having fewer health issues. It makes sense if you think about it. Feeling supported, connected.
It motivates you.
Exactly. Gives you a sense of purpose, maybe makes you more inclined to take care of yourself.
It's not about being the life of the party constantly.
Not at all. The sources emphasize quality over quantity, nurturing those meaningful connections with family, close friends, maybe neighbors.
So even for introverts.
Absolutely. It could be joining a club, a book group, volunteering, taking a class, anything that involves shared interest and brings you into regular contact with others. That sense of belonging is powerful.
Okay, connection. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about sleep? We all know we need it, but you mentioned it's about quality, especially as we age.
That's a critical point. Sleep patterns can change. Sometimes it gets harder to get that deep, restful sleep.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. But it's not just the hours logged. It's the quality that really matters for longevity. Good sleep is when your body does its repair work. It strengthens your immune system,
Okay.
supports brain function, like locking in memories, and it lowers the risk of chronic diseases.
And if you don't get good sleep, it kind of throws everything else off, doesn't it?
Totally. The sources point that out. When you're sleep deprived, your mood suffers, your energy tanks, and honestly, it's much harder to stick to healthy eating or feel motivated to exercise.
Right, it's a domino effect.
It really is. So focusing on sleep quality pays off everywhere else.
What helps? Any quick tips from the sources?
Yeah, practical stuff like having a relaxing bedtime routine, maybe reading, a warm bath, gentle stretching, cutting back on caffeine, especially later in the day.
And screens, right? The blue light thing.
Definitely. Limiting screen time before bed makes a big difference for many people. Small changes, but they can significantly improve how rested you feel.
Okay, movement, nutrition, connection, sleep. That's 4. That's number 5.
Number 5 is stress management.
Ah, the big one. We can't really eliminate stress, can we?
Probably not entirely, no. Life happens. But the sources really emphasize finding healthy ways to cope with it because chronic stress, even low-grade daily stuff, it really takes a toll.
How so? Physically.
Oh, yeah. Big
Yeah.
time. It impacts cardiovascular health, raises blood pressure, increases heart disease risk, and it affects cognitive function, too. It can make you foggy, forgetful.
Okay, so we need strategies. What works?
Mindfulness and meditation come up a lot as really valuable tools.
Does that mean sitting cross-legged for an hour?
Not necessarily. It can be much simpler. Even just a few minutes a day, consciously focusing on your breath, just noticing it, that alone can lower stress levels.
Really? Just a few minutes.
The science backs it up. Mindfulness practices are linked to lower blood pressure, less anxiety, even better sleep. The sources suggest starting small, maybe 5 minutes of quiet breathing.
5 minutes. Seems manageable. What if meditation isn't your thing?
Totally fine. Other things work too. Simple, deep breathing exercises anytime you feel stressed. Gentle stretching. Spending time in nature is a huge stress reliever for many people.
They're getting outside.
Yeah. It's about finding what resonates with you, what helps you release that tension in a healthy way.
Okay, stress management. Got it. Now, number 6 you mentioned was hydration. Seems basic, but you said it's often overlooked.
Surprisingly often, yes. Especially because, as we get older, our actual sensation of thirst can sometimes decrease.
Oh, so you might be dehydrated and not even feel thirsty.
Exactly. Which makes it easy to slip into kind of a chronic low-level dehydration, and that affects, well, almost everything.
Like what?
Energy levels, for sure. Digestion, cognitive function, even mild dehydration can mess with your concentration and memory.
Wow. Okay, so the fix is just drink more water.
Pretty much. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But Consciously drinking fluids throughout the day is key.
Any tricks to remember?
Keep a water bottle handy, that visual cue helps. Maybe set reminders. Sip regularly, don't just gulp down a lot at once.
Does it have to be plain water?
Water is best, but herbal teas count. Water-rich foods help too, things like cucumbers, watermelon, oranges. They add to your overall fluid intake.
How much should we aim for? Is the old 8 glasses a day rule still right?
It's a decent guideline, around 8 cups or 2 liters, but individual needs vary, activity level,
Right.
climate. The main thing is consistent hydration.
Right. Okay. Hydration. Check. We've got 2 more habits left from your list of 8. What's number 7?
Number 7 is all about keeping the brain engaged. Lifelong learning.
Lifelong learning. So not just going back to school.
Not necessarily, no. Learning here means anything that really stimulates your brain, keeps it active.
Like what? Hobbies.
Absolutely. Taking up a new hobby, learning a language, maybe doing an online course on something you're curious about, playing a musical instrument.
Puzzles. Crosswords.
Yep, those count too. Anything that challenges your brain. It helps maintain what they call cognitive reserve.
Cognitive reserve. What's that?
It's like your brain's resilience. Engaging in these activities can help slow down cognitive decline as we age and might even lower the risk of dementia. Some research even suggests it could promote the growth of new brain cells.
Wow, new brain cells.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So use it or lose it, basically.
That's a good way to put it. Keeping the brain active is just as vital as keeping the body active.
And it adds joy, too, right? Learning something new feels good.
It really does. There's real satisfaction in mastering a new skill, whether it's painting or coding or cooking something new. It enriches life, keeps you engaged.
Okay, lifelong learning. Love it.
Great.
And that brings us to the final habit, number 8. You said it was about mindset.
That's right. Cultivating a positive mindset. This might seem a bit less concrete than drinking water or walking.
A bit more abstract.
Yeah, maybe. But the sources make it clear. Our attitude, our outlook on life, it has a powerful impact on longevity and well-being.
How so? It's not just about pretending to be happy, is it?
Not at all. It's deeper than that. A genuinely positive, proactive mindset approaching life with enthusiasm, a sense of purpose seems to correlate with more vitality. And get this, a major Harvard study found people with a positive view of aging lived, on average, 7.5 years longer.
7.5 years. Just from attitude.
That's what the study found. It's a huge difference. It suggests a strong link between our mental state and our physical health.
Maybe because positive people handle stress better. Or are more likely to do the other healthy things.
Both, probably. A positive outlook can buffer stress, lower risk for some illnesses, make you more resilient when things get tough. It's about embracing aging as, another stage of growth, not just decline.
The sources also mention a growth mindset.
Yes. Believing you can still learn and improve no matter your age. That's powerful. And gratitude, too.
Being thankful.
Yeah, consciously appreciating the good things. It sounds simple, but it's linked to less depression, better health, stronger relationships. Just taking a moment each day to think about what you're grateful for.
It's not always easy to stay positive, though.
Of course not. Life throws curveballs. It's about practice, self-compassion, and making those small, consistent shifts in perspective when you can.
Okay, wow. So those are the 8. Walking, plant-focused eating, social connection, quality sleep, managing stress, hydration, lifelong learning, and positive mindset.
That's the core list, yeah.
As we wrap up this deep dive, it really strikes me that longevity isn't just about adding years, is it? It's about the quality, the vitality in those years.
Absolutely. That's the whole point. Health span, not just lifespan.
And what's so encouraging, I think, is that these habits, these 8 areas, they're mostly within our reach. They're things we can actually do.
They really are. And the research consistently shows it's the small, consistent steps that add up. It's the accumulation over time that makes the big difference.
So it's never too late to start, even if you haven't been doing these things.
Absolutely not. Never too late. Wherever you are right now, you can start making small adjustments. And those adjustments can lead to real, meaningful improvements. It's actually quite empowering when you think about it.
Yeah. The idea that we can actively shape our own longevity through these daily choices, the powerful message.
It is. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. As you think about all this, what's one small change, one habit that really resonated with you?
Good question.
And maybe what's one tiny step, just one thing you could do today or maybe tomorrow to start bringing that into your life?
And maybe also reflect on how they all connect, right? How sleeping better might give you energy to walk, or how feeling connected might boost your mindset.
Exactly. It's all part of that holistic picture of well-being.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for taking this deep dive with us today. Lots to think about.